Howdy folks, Bluesboyjag here, yet another requested 4-string cigar box guitar lesson. It's Living After Midnight by the great Judas Priest. We're tuned to open G. That's a 5th string, or A string, tuned down to G. And a D string, tuned normal to D. And a G string, tuned normal to G. Always tune your G string normal. And this is a B string, tuned normal to B. G, D, G, and B. All right, you're going to be using mainly your first finger for the main riffs. So we're going to start out here. I'm borrowing all the way across on the 9th fret. Also, by the way, I've got heavy distortion on my amp. It's called the rectifier setting, and I'm using the Roland Mini Cube. So you're going to be at 9, 7, 2, and then 4, and then we start all over again up at the 9th fret. So the strum pattern is, notice I'm doing some up strums there. Obviously the song's faster than that, but that'll help you get the groove. Make sure you do those chokes. Also, you can really hear, if you listen close, you can really hear them doing those clicks. So if you notice, I'm starting on the up when I come back. So after that first strum, now obviously you can hear those clicks pretty loud, and some of you may be thinking, I can really hear those clicks pretty loud. Well, I'm slowing the song down and I'm actually kind of emphasizing that so that you know where those clicks are. And you're probably thinking, what's a click? What are you talking about? A click is simply that. It's a completely choked chord. Now, one other thing, if you haven't seen very many of my lessons, you may be wondering, what chord am I playing? That looks kind of fancy. It's not fancy at all. I'm just using my 3rd finger, and I'm not flipping you off because your 3rd finger is not the flip-off finger, but it sort of looks like it. So all the way across with your 3rd finger. But there's no sense in doing that when you have these extra fingers, right, to help you press down all 4 strings. It is a little tricky because when you press down with that 3rd finger, often the string that you really want to press down, which is the 3rd string, which is, by the way, the hardest one to press down because it's the skinniest one, is right underneath here where your joint of your finger is, which means you can't really mash it down. So what I do, I use my 3rd finger and I use my thumb, and between the two I'm kind of squishing the neck. And And it looks weird because it's kind of an angled bar chord, right? It's not like this. Very few bar chords on any guitar is going to be straight like that. Well, I shouldn't say very few. This is the bar on the 4th fret. I'm using my 2nd finger to help me press down that 3rd finger. And you're thinking, why do you need help, Jag? Well, that 2nd string is right underneath the joint of my finger, which means I can't really press it down as hard as the rest of the strings. So blah-de-dee, blah-de-dee, blah. Yes, it's really picky and really anal, but hey, guitar playing can be that way. So it looks funny, and you're probably wondering what chords you're playing. All it is one finger all the way across, but I'm not using my 1st finger. I'm using my 3rd finger. Now the next thing is, why are you using your 3rd finger, not your 1st finger? Because I'm going to be going down to that chord and up to this chord, and going down from this chord to this one. So you might as well use your 3rd finger for the upper chords and your 1st finger for the lower chords, right? You could theoretically use just one finger, but you'd be kind of working pretty hard to do that, jumping all over the place. So, don't forget that click. Don't forget coming back on the up. And you're probably saying, you say that a whole lot in your lessons, Jag, coming back on the up. What does that mean? I'm skipping the down and coming back on the strum on the up. Right there. And you can put a click in there, which I'm pretty sure they do all the way through the song, or you can not put the click in there, not a big deal. There's the click. Now I'm overemphasizing all those clicks. So I'm going to do this real slow, and I'm going to super overemphasize these clicks. They are absolutely imperative unless you have unbelievably perfectly good timing, which very, very, very few people do. Let's go way slower than that. So what I'm doing with the chokes is simply slightly loosening my grip on the strings. So it's muted now. Look real close to my fingers. It's muted now, and now I'm pressing down. You can't even hardly see the difference, right? Can't even see my fingers move hardly. That's because they don't need to move very far to mute it and then unmute it. So make sure you come back on the up. Click on the down, and then a chord on the up, and another up down here. That's the intro. Now we're going to go up here. So you're going to be up here on the 9th fret, and we're doing pretty fast all downstroke chugga chuggas. That's what I call it. Chugga 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 chugga. So we're barring all the way across there. And that's your E chord, and then I'm going to go up to the 12th fret, which is your G chord. That's where he says, loaded, 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 loaded. Now, I'm partially muting back here with the right hand. What does that mean? It means that the palm of my hand, sort of, like this part right here, what do you call that part of your hand? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Right here, right in front of the bridge, which is that bolt. Very fancy bridge, right? Right in front of the bridge. And basically what you're doing is you're partially muting that chord. So, the palm of my hand is way back here. If you go up here, you're going to mute the chord completely and you won't hear anything at all. So what you want to do is first finger, and then I'm using my third finger on the 12th fret, and then you do an up strum. So what you don't want to do is what I just did. You don't want it to go da 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 da. You want it to go boop 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 boop. Notice how I'm pausing on that. Okay, now you're already on that 12th fret, which is where we need to go again. All you're doing there is barring all the way across on the 12th. That's going to be 13, 14, 15, 16. And what chord would that be? Anybody? Any takers? Well, that's your G, right? Two above that's your A, two above that's your B. So we're almost done with the song. Ooh, I messed that up. It does that several times, and then verse. That's your G chord, G flat. So there's another verse there, and then it goes to the bridge, which is that's the entire song. So back to this part. This is what I would call the bridge when you get to this point. This is a super common lick in a ton of songs for the past 100 years. I don't know. So bar all the way across the 2nd fret, which is your A chord. That's a suspended chord. It's sort of a C chord. No, that's sort of a G, A, B, C. It's sort of a D chord, sorry. So you're barring all the way across on the A, and this allows you to go to a D chord very quickly without moving your hand away from that fret. It's your A, and that's sort of your D. It's super, 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 super common. Did I say super common? It's super common, especially in the 70s. That's some of the first chords I ever learned, was doing the Ted Nugent kind of thing. So this is the bridge part, which is a whole different, what am I doing that for? Because they call it the bridge. It's the bridge. Where's the confounded bridge? So that's 12, 11, and then we're on, what is that, 14, 15, 16. And back to the verse again, or the chorus, I should say. So, how do we solo on this? And what key is it in, Jag? Well, let's see. Would it be this one? Would you end the song on that chord? Nope. Nope, wouldn't end on that one either. That's correct. We'd end on that one, which is G, A, B, C, D, and E. The song is in the key of E, so now that we've figured that out, we know where we can solo. That's one of them anyway. So, super easy. That's the key, and that's the E chord. Well, we're going to start right there. This is the major pentatonic. Basically, it's going to be pinky 1, pinky 1, pinky 1, pinky 1. That means pinky on the first string, 12th fret. This is our home bass, remember? Because that's the key. So if we put that finger in Bart where the key is, we're right smack dab in the middle of the major pentatonic. So, pinky on the 12th fret. And first finger is going to be on the 9th fret. Same thing on the 2nd string, same thing on the 3rd string, and same thing on the 4th string. But you don't want to just go up and down and up and down and up and down, so make it rock. So, what was that? A pull off. So here's one of my favorite licks right here. Barring on the key, right? It's the key, E. So I can do a hammer on. My first finger and my pinky with 2 frets in between. All right, so the next point that we can play solo is right here. It's sort of a mini scale, I guess you'd say. So this right here is the key of the song. Right? So that's the key, and that's the note of the key. So you can also put your 3rd finger here instead of your 1st finger. Play the same box. Don't forget you can put the in-between notes in, which is very cool. Now that 1st string, not so much, but sounds kind of cool in my opinion. It's not really technically proper. Sounds kind of Indian or something. Sounds kind of cool. I like it. By the way, lots of people have been asking about the amplifier that I'm using. I have 2 different amplifiers, the Cube 10GX, and I have the original Cube, well, one of the originals, one of the, I guess, about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this one came out. It's called the Micro Cube. And this one has an amazing, absolutely amazing overdrive. This is a very well revered amplifier, especially for cigar box guitar players, because it gives you a great overdrive sound. Also has great reverb. It's just overall great, just great. So I'm using that one for this particular song because it has a little bit more crunch than my Cube 10GX. However, if you tweak it just right, you can use the Cube 10GX for the same song. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. If you haven't already, check out my website, jagshouse.com. Also, my new one is bluesboyjag.com. That one's about to go away, but it should send you to my new website, bluesboyjag.com.